H is for holidays. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this inaugural video of my one letter looks series. This is basically where I have chosen a word that is topical, and for each new video I am only using eyeshadows whose names begin with the next letter in that word. So this is the word holidays. It's 8 letters long. It's going to be 8 videos, and this is the first video using shadows which only begin with the letter H. Every eyeshadow that you see me wearing today begins with the letter H. So if you want to see which palettes I used, what my choices were, because I didn't use every possible option, what my general color story was, and how on earth I arrived at this idea, and the palettes that were dedicated to each letter, you'll just have to stick around. If you want to know how I went about choosing which palettes for which letter, I'm going to card a video above laying it all out with video and everything. I'm not going to take the time to explain that for each of these videos because they would be unnecessarily long, but the gist of it is that I have 6 palettes that I can choose. Any shadow that begins with the letter H and is within those 6 palettes, that's the pool of shadows I can choose from for today's eye look. Now, I had accidentally, and I'm glad I noticed this, accidentally used the Blueberry Muffin palette twice when I allocated palettes to letters, and I need the Blueberry Muffin palette for my Y video because I only have 4 palettes that have a Y. So instead of using Blueberry Muffin, I switched it out to one of my few that hadn't been selected, which was Tropicolor from Sydney Grace. I'm going to swatch each of the shadows and show you what options I've got, and we'll go from there. Okay, so one of the palettes is Paradise Islands from Nomad. I think there's one in here. There's one shadow in here which starts with the letter H, and it is herein right here. So I'm going to swatch that. Inside the Queen Bee palette from Colored Rain, there is one with an H called Honeycomb. That's this one here. My replacement palette, instead of Blueberry Muffin, is Tropicolor from Sydney Grace. I think there's just one in here as well that begins with an H. We have Hellshire. Yep, that's it. So here is Hellshire from Sydney Grace. So far, this color story is in no way working with my shirt. Age of Opulence from Beauty Bay. The H is, let's see, this one here is Hope. Is that it? Yes, just Hope. We've got Muse from Cosmic Brushes, which I think is now Cosmic Beauty. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're changing their name. The H in this palette we have Haze, and I think that's it. Yes, that's it, just Haze. Again, another brownish, in this case a brown matte. That's my color story so far. And finally, in America's Parks from Nomad, I believe there are 2 in here. I have Herein Forest, which is a green shimmer, and Half Dome, another brown matte, slightly deeper than the one from Muse. Okay, that is my color story. You'll see I have more than 6 shadows because one of the palettes had 2. Now, for example, in the Whistler Snow Lodge palette, about 2/3 of those shadows start with the letter S. So if I had chosen that palette for S, which I did not, if I had, I would have had, 9 different shadow options, plus the other 5 palettes. So that was one of the reasons I didn't choose it for S. But here is my color story. I don't at all know what I'm going to do with it. This is the first time I'm seeing it. I'm going to have to take a minute and figure it out. I'm pretty sure, obviously the brownie neutrally tones will work with my shirt today. I don't know about the other colors. Now, I don't have to use all these colors, but these are my options. I don't know. I'm going to prime my eyes with the Glamlight Icing Primer. Sometimes if I take too long really analyzing my color story, I get trapped, and I don't always have that much time because I have 2 children napping upstairs. So I just have to dive in and see how it goes. I'm going to wash off my hand, prime my eyes. You know the drill. I'll be right back. So here is the Glamlight Icing Primer in the color Buttercream. I think I've decided what to do. My outfit today is quite cool toned. I think I'm going to therefore avoid the very warm orangey shade in the Colored Rain palette. So that one's out. And then I think I'm not going to use the Paradise Islands palette either with that more true royal blue matte. What I'm planning on doing is building up my crease with blue and brown, and then using the 2 shimmers I have. That's my plan. We shall see how it goes. This is definitely me not having a lot of confidence in how it's going to turn out. Remember, this is not a palette bingo, so I don't have to use all the colors. I could just do one wash of shimmer and be done with it, but that's so boring. That's so unexciting. I don't want to do that. I'm dipping into Hope in the Age of Opulence palette. I'm going to lay it down pretty lightly because the Beauty Bay shadows are very pigmented, very difficult to build one shadow on top of another, but you can build up the color of a single shadow. So I think I'll lay it down in my outer, like an outer triangle here. I don't want to bring it too far in. And when most of the product is off my brush, then I will do little concentric circles to just soften the edges and pull it out in a triangle shape. That is such a cool toned teal. Yeah, okay. Now with a larger and fluffier blending brush, I'm dipping into Haze from the Muse palette. I'm going to use this to soften that blue and fill in the rest of the crease area. I'm not looking ahead of time at what my color stories are for each letter. It's really a matter of, okay, I think I'm going to be able to film today. Let me see what colors I have to work with. I didn't like swatching on my hand. I think next time I'll swatch on paper or something. Something that I can reference in the moment because I use my phone for filming, so I don't want to take a little video swatching and then not be able to access the video. And I don't really want to have to require a lot of prep time as far as doing all of the color swatching in advance and then referencing the video and deciding ahead of time what colors I'm going to be working with. And truthfully, that takes some of the fun out of it. And I don't know. My only concern is that whatever shirt I've picked to wear for that day might not work with my ultimate color story, but I think I'm going to be safe because I have, again, at least 6 shadows to choose from, more if some palettes have multiple shadows with that letter in them. So it'll be fine. It'll be fun. I'm not going to sit here and overanalyze it because it's not worth my energy. So that's looking pretty, and I love those colors together. I'm now reconsidering my shimmer options. I was going to do the light blue-green shimmer into the Hellshire shimmer from Tropicolor, which is sort of a mid to darker tone brown. I don't know that that's going to be dark enough. I mean, that the matte is going to be dark enough. Maybe I'll go back into Opulence, put Hope more on the lid space, because I guess I'll plan on deepening Hope with the dark brown matte from America's Parks. So I'll cover more of my lid with Hope just to carry it over a bit, because I know that this outer corner will hopefully be buried a bit in the darker brown. I don't like my shimmers to be darker than my mattes. That's the key. So with America's Parks and the same smaller brush, I'm picking up Half Dome, and I'm hoping that that will deepen this outer corner adequately. Because my shimmer from Tropicolor is not a light tone. It is a mid to darker leaning brown shimmer. Yeah, I think that was a good idea. The tealy blue color is still going to peek out from underneath, I think. She said, hopefully. I think it's going to be really carried forth when I lay down the shimmer in this palette, which I just closed. Okay, let's get a flat brush. So I'm picking up Herein Forest on a flat brush. I'm going to load up both sides of the brush so that I can get a lot of good application, and then I'll spray it to control fallout. I will lay this down. It's light enough, I think, to start my inner... Yes, it's light enough to start at my inner lid space, so I'll start it there and carry it out. That really tied into the blue as I thought it would. And I'll use this on the inner 2/3 or so. No. Inner half of the lid. And when I say half, I'm breaking it into quarters. So inner 2/4 of the lid space. Do a bit of a faux cut crease, but not too neat and tidy. My initial plan for this color story was not to use this shimmer at all, but now I'm liking it. And once I'm done the eye look and I step back, then I'll be able to see how it looks with my shirt. Okay, that's looking quite nice. It's a pretty color. Now I will take the Tropicolor palette. It's called Hellshire. I'll just load up one side of my brush, and I'm not going to spray it because I don't think it needs it. And I'm going to tap that on the edge of that blue-green shimmer to meet the brown mattes. That's looking nice. Probably would work better with my finger though, so let's try that. It would just give me a little bit more shine with my finger, honestly. And now I'll take the brush and just pull the green blue onto the brown and the brown onto the green. Make sure I angle the brush upwards a bit because I have slightly hooded eyes and I want to put shadow on the hood so that it's not concealing all the color. And I'm going back into my smaller of the two blending brushes that I had used in the outer corner with no additional product and just tapping. Just tap, tap, tapping here. Alright, that's what the lid is looking like. I like it. Does it work with my shirt? I don't dislike it with my shirt. I have lost most of the blue, unsurprisingly, because of how I had to apply it and deepen. It's definitely a blue undertone, so the blue matte is coming through the shimmers just a little bit. The question is, do I want to bring blue onto the lower lash line to kind of pull in from the upper into the lower area? And my jeans are blue. Alright, time for the lower lash line. I think I've decided what to do. I'm going to go back into Hope with a very small blending brush. This is the sort of brush I might use just for my inner corner. It's quite precise. And I will line the inner part of the lower lash line quite lightly. Then I'll go back into Haze from Muse and put this in the center area. Those two colors are actually really pretty together. They're just quite soft. And back into Half Dome for the outer area. It's just a little bit darker. In such a small space you might not be able to tell, but it is a darker brown than Haze. And with the same small blending brush, cleaned off a little bit, going back into Ho Rainforest, I will spray this. And this I'm going to place as an inner corner highlight and also in the inner third or so of my lower lash line. Ooh, oh, that's pretty. Ooh, that just popped. That's lovely. Yes, very nice. I know I recently said in a video that I have less and less interest in doing shimmer inner corners and really prefer a pastel matte, but a really light shimmer is quite pretty. And sometimes, you know, like for this challenge using specific shades, I don't have the option always to do a pastel matte. I'm going to choose something for my waterline. I'll go do the other side off camera. You know the drill. I'll be right back to show you how it looks. What do you think? You have to tell me in the comments. What do you think? I like it. I like it. I really do like it. I don't know that it's the best match for my shirt, but I do know that it's not completely clashing with my shirt. So I'm going to take that as a win. I like the colors together. I'm really enjoying the teal and brown. You know, blue and brown were a color combination I never really thought about until I bought a beaded gown that was blue and brown. And I thought, oh, wait, they work nicely together. And ever since then, I've just been really interested in that color combination. I wasn't planning on this today. Again, like I said earlier, I actually expected, when I saw the colors all swatched out, I thought, well, I'm just going to avoid the green-blue shimmer because it doesn't at all work with my shirt. But upon considering other color combinations with the shadows that I was allowed to use today, you know, this is what I ended up with, and I do really think that it's pretty. In my waterline, I used a color called Plum Smash from ColourPop's Crim Gel Liners. I did use some mascara, but I didn't do anything else on my eyes. And then on my lips, I have this liner from Italia Deluxe in the shade Black Currant and the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Cranberry Pie. These liners, everything's linked down below. Everything is linked down below. These liners, I bought off Amazon, a set of 12, I believe. Sometimes I use one, and I'm like, oh, that's really nice. And other times I use one, and less nice. I think it's probably just a matter of the colors. Some of the colors and the formulas are really, really creamy. And then one of the others, I can't recall which one, is definitely more dry. Maybe I got a dud. I don't know. The brand, or the product rather, was quite well reviewed on Amazon. So, I mean, I don't know anything about lip liners, but some of them are really creamy and just a joy to use, and others are very stiff and they kind of pull. So it might be the color. I'm not sure. But this one, the Black Currant, is quite nice. So that's the whole look, actually. Yes, that's everything. So at the end of the day, I was allowed to use 6 palettes, and I ended up using 4. I used 1 from Travel Color, 1 from Age of Opulence, 1 from Muse, and 2 from America's Parks. So out of my 6 palettes, I used 4, and I used 5 shadows. This was fun. This is my H look. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you are looking forward to the rest of the videos in this little holidays series. It's 8 letters, so that's going to be 8 videos. Lord willing, I'm able to film all of them, you know, consecutively and don't have any issues, but that is the plan. I hope you will consider liking and subscribing before you go if you like this content and you want to see more, because I do upload several videos a week, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!